picture pipe, a language mode of communication. The title of this is not a pipe itself. And this combination gives us a kind of critical thinking. This picture itself has an effect of reflexive idle destruction. In my view, some icons in manga anime should have similar effect, I think. I have in my mind Hadashi no Gen, I don't know the translation. Barefoot Gen, for instance, and even the Ghost in the Shell and Tekken Complete, that kind of animations, part of that have some elements of this kind of reflexive idle discussion. Let's skip to the final section. First, in my view as a sociologist, there are two different kinds of media. The first category is the media as TV, newspaper, magazine, internet, and so forth, including the term of the mass media, so to speak. And this is familiar with. Second one is not so familiar with the people outside sociology. This is the media for connecting or negotiating, sometimes for solidarity among people, media such as money in economic transactions, law in lawful transactions, truth, for instance, in academic communication, power, for instance, in political negotiation, and influence for the societal communication. This is the idea initiated by critical persons. But this is, of course, the matter of viewpoint or phase of attention, that these two interpretations of media have significant analytical differences with each other. And I am calling the first one as transmitting or accepting media, while the second, connecting or solvent media. Solvent in this context indicates that the people committing with each other are soaked in the same solution, liquid, to solve this connecting issue. Money law can be solvents in this soaking together in solution situation, in their interchange of connecting activities. And now icon is another instance of these solvents, but on the visual frame to evoke devotion of human beings. Thus my proposal here is to interpret and locate icon as umbrella conceptualization for totem, fetish, and idol in argumentation of under yet higher degree of media connected solvent type. But still, I am for certain that you are uncomfortable with this categorization, that to locate icon as one of the family member, money, law, power, truth, and influence. What is the fundamental difference with icons? It seems that this question brings us back to the very first issue of visuality. This issue concerns two at least big inquiries. First, different phases of human orientation in communication, namely affective sentiment-based or body orientation or cognitive phase. Obviously, visuality is more connected to the phase of affective and sentiment type. And second, what I call McLuhan type problem. Historical shift from fundamental modes of human communication from pre-modern, via modern to second modern or post-modern, whatever that is called. Finally, let me touch upon this issue of Japanology. My basic stance on the issue is that almost all the research activities, including that of Japanology, is now more and more globalized, meaning that we tend to do the research on the same particular subject, using the same thoughts, ideas, approaches to the world, doing the same game, under the same paradigm in real time. Only the point is that whether or not we will take part in this or contribute to this global growth. However, it is interesting to note that while we can develop one universalistic game of research growth, it also becomes easier than before to construct an orientalistic, say, or opposite orientalistic ideology in complicity between the researchers in Japan and outside Japan, concomitantly. It means that we are so culturally bound in committing to global debates I don't think that the researchers are free from their own cultural binding in committing to these global beliefs. Instead, they, including I myself, of course, are sometimes so desperately cultural. But besides, I don't think that every culture is inherently hybrid. Counter to the arguments of, say, hybridity versus nationalism type, and in that hybrid is always the side of the truth. I'm trying to be provocative again. Let me mention two factors: moments of crystallization of culture. Cultures are constructed, sorry, I need 1 or 2 minutes, by different elements, sometimes those of contradicted, diffused elements from outside, and they are usually not unified in one entity, as functionist anthropology once supposed. Yet, from time to time, we still have moments of crystallization of culture. And therefore, for instance, we have their text of Buddhism, Christianity, Confucianism, and so on. You can say there exist, these texts are still in an endless, this liquid flow of intertextuality, of course. Yet, by the moments of crystallizations and accumulations of them, we have different characteristics of each culture. Cases and parts of cultural studies. If we treat them only as nationalistic and ethnocentric ideology, we throw the baby out with this basket. Second, limitation of flexibility of cultural or collective memory as a resource for emancipation from the cultural bondage and internalization of laws, episteme in Foucaultian sense. Under such circumstances, among Japanologists in the world, including those of Japan, who are dealing with subcultures, there are two different tendencies emerging in my impression. One is to hold on traditional frame of Japanology to see the phenomena of subculture through a long-standing convention of Japanology. Another is the researchers who jump in this global flow to grasp what is really going on there via direct communication with each other in face-to-face meetings, workshop writings, to frustrate conventional Japanology. These people also are not immune to any kinds of ideologies. Still, perhaps only through these platforms of Japanese studies rather than Japanology, in which researchers commit to the frustrating communication. Seems to be the way to make a breakthrough in the new things of Japanology. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Now the time is for this